What if I told you the price of your next car loan or business loan just went up because of a war thousands of miles away? This is Kenya News Update today. Coming up, you'll discover why the Central Bank of Kenya just slammed the brakes on cheaper loans and how a single shipping lane in the Middle East is about to hit your wallet. Meet the average Kenyan borrower, a small business owner in Nairobi, a young family in Mombasa trying to buy a home. For months, they've been watching interest rates fall, dreaming of cheaper credit. But here's the twist. That dream is now on hold. Economists are sounding the alarm. Fresh tensions in the Middle East, specifically Iran's move to halt tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, have sent global oil prices skyrocketing. And for an oil-importing nation like Kenya, that's a direct threat to every shilling in your pocket. The Central Bank of Kenya had been on one of its most aggressive rate-cutting sprees in years. They slashed the benchmark central bank rate from a painful 12-year high of 13% all the way down to 8.75%. That was the 10th cut in a row. Governor Kamo even hinted in February that more relief was coming. But here's what nobody's talking about. The bank's hands are now tied. Oil prices jumped a staggering 9% in a single day. They're up more than 28% since the start of the year. This isn't just about fuel at the pump. This is imported inflation. Higher crude prices mean more expensive transport, more costly production, and ultimately, pricier food and essentials. The CBK's main job is to control inflation. If they cut rates now to make loans cheaper, they risk letting inflation run wild again. It's an impossible choice. And then, something shocking happened. The data showed a glimmer of hope just before this crisis. Credit growth had improved to 6.4% in January. Commercial bank lending rates had eased slightly to an average of 14.8%. The Monetary Policy Committee was ready to cut again, but the external environment has shifted seismically. Here's the part that will blow your mind. A single geopolitical event, a conflict Kenya has no part in, can derail our entire economic recovery plan. Analysts warn that countries like Kenya and Egypt are now extremely vulnerable. The gains made in controlling inflation could be wiped out. The shilling could come under fresh pressure, all because of a choke point in the Persian Gulf that carries roughly a fifth of the world's oil. The implications are massive and controversial. For every Kenyan waiting on a loan, this is a direct financial hit. Some economists say the CBK must hold firm to protect the currency. Others argue that stifling credit growth will choke the very businesses that drive our economy. But here's the unanswered question. How long can Kenya's economic fate be held hostage by global shocks we cannot control? Do you think the central bank made the right call by pausing rate cuts, or should they prioritize cheaper loans to boost the economy? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more breaking news that impacts your life and your money.